What's up, guys? Back with another Honkai Star Wars video. In this video, I'm going to talk about a tournament I actually participated in. This was about probably like almost a week ago, right at this time. But it was a tournament in GACHA Discord. You got prize money for winning. I didn't really care too much about the money, to be honest with you. I kind of just wanted to participate in it, have a fun little thing. The team I ran was by no means optimal. I just wanted to try it out because I tried it once and I thought the team was cool. So, like, all right, as long as the team doesn't get banned, because yes, there are bans. I'll go over the rules in a second. I thought the team was fun, right? Now, it was 4 people at once, and the rules are pretty simple, right? Let me pull them up real quick. So the lowest time wins, aka clear the fastest. All 5-star characters at E3 or higher are prohibited, obviously except the MC, because they're free. 5-star light cones at S2 and above are prohibited. Can't run them. You obviously must stream it, because, how else would they know that you're telling the truth? If you lose all your characters, you'll be disqualified unless you have the cure that revives you after the fight. And the only other rule was if you use Acheron's, Ruin Maze, or Topaz's technique, that's a big no-no unless you do it in the boss fight room. So, Ruin May, very strong character. As you can see, I have her on my team in the bottom right. That's me. Very strong character. Can't use them against normal mobs, especially for someone like Acheron. Like, Acheron was, spoiler, one of the characters banned in this for my grouping, but can you imagine using Acheron E just to slice through? You're obviously not able to use items in Golden Gears like you are in normal simulated universe, but can you imagine? It would just be like, who can click E the fastest, right? And then I guess who can click the, like, claim your blessings faster at that point. But unfortunately, no Acheron, so I wasn't able to use her. You can use E2, but you had a minute and 30 seconds penalty added, so I obviously didn't want that penalty, and I don't think I even own an E2 character besides like Don Ching, so this wouldn't really apply to me. But the bans were Acheron, Sparkle, which I banned Sparkle, I don't have her. 2 people had Don Hang and Sparkle, so I said there's definitely no way I'm letting that happen. The other one was Kafka, which was a yikes for me because I was going to run Dot. And then the last one was... I can't remember who the last one was. That's crazy. I have to double check. The last one was... Who was it? It's clearly someone that I wasn't too pressed about. Otherwise, I remembered it. It was... Fushuan. That was what it was. Fushuan. Okay. Which, to be fair, good ban, right? Pretty good ban, because if you die, that's GG, right? Which a lot of people in round 1 actually died to the bosses because they opted for the strategy where you jump ahead in the plane to kind of, get ahead. Oh, I don't have to do these 4 fights, right? But then they didn't get enough blessings and they died, right? So it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to hit play here. I might jump around a little bit, but from the looks of it, I was also running the Path of Irradiation. Top left is using the Remembrance, and top right, Don Hang. They're using the basic attack one. So I believe this guy has a E2 Silverwolf and an E1 Ruin May, which, dang. DPS Silverwolf go crazy, and the Ruin May E1 was wild. Then I believe the Don Hang had E2 as well, which is... I'm going to be honest with you. I'm running E0 ratio, E1 Welt, E0 Ruin May, and E0 Ho-Ho. And Ruin May and Ho-Ho don't have their signature light cones. Welt was using Acheron's light cone for me, and the ratio was using his own. I was kind of at a disadvantage, not going to lie. I didn't realize so many people were running E2s, but obviously I had no prior knowledge of this, so I wouldn't have known, right? You didn't have to say how many deep your characters was, because I'd kind of be like, okay, well, I have an E2 Don Hang and everything else is E0. Obviously, someone's going to ban Don Hang, so it was kind of like a blind ban going into it. Yeah, E2 Ruin May. Did I have E0 Loach? Okay. This is actually my first time seeing everyone else's screen because I wasn't really focused too much on theirs. I was more focused on mine. Oh, it's E1 Don Hang. Never mind. It was E1 Don Hang, E2 Ruin May. Yikes, that was crazy. And then we had backup characters. I was going to use Himiko and Galagar. Pretty much my thought process behind this was if I get unlucky and the boss doesn't get implanted with imaginary weakness, right? Because there's a certain point of Golden Gears where you get to pick between 2 random ones. I was going to switch Welt and um, I think it was just Welt. No, it was Welt and Ho-Ho with Gallagher and Himiko to see if I could just, you spam them and hopefully get a win out of it, right? Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. I ended up getting Imaginary, so that was a big W for me. But I was like, okay, I have to have a backup plan if I don't get Imaginary Weakness, because I did a few runs, and the 2 runs that I had where I didn't get the Imaginary Weakness, I strip died. Like, so that was, you had to risk it for the biscuit, though. Anyway, that's pretty much it, so let's jump ahead. There is one issue, this was me, that I had was because I was testing what dice I wanted to use. I believe this one, he was using Pursuit. I forgot who the other 2 were using. But regardless of that, I was testing my, company time RNG. And when I was doing that, I was using the Acheron team. So I actually had to back out of the whole thing. And I kind of like messed it up at the beginning, I'm not going to lie. But everyone was okay with restarting. It's like, people were like, oh, they should have saw it, or no one said anything. It was just like an oopsie, right? So unfortunately, I kind of trolled everybody with not getting a blessing at first, but like, honest mistake. No one was too mad about it, thankfully. I was okay with just restarting and then, going into it without it. So I'm like penalized with not having a starting Kuro or starting blessing, whatever I picked. And with the addition of they were already going to be ahead of me, but everyone decided to restart, so that's fine. It's fun. So pick the right team this time, and we start it off. Pretty much what I am thinking of here is I will pick Iridation, all right, and then I'll grab as much follow-up stuff as I possibly can. Then if I can get the blessing that makes ultimates follow-up attacks, then Dr. Ratio should just be able to ult, ult with Welt, follow-up attack, ult with Welt because it's Brain of Vat, follow up, ult with Ratio again, and then I feel like the match is like almost GG at that point with how much damage you can dish out, right? And let's look at what everyone else is doing. The Donhang team, by the way, they were casting this while I was playing, right? Obviously, I have it muted because I don't want to be talking over someone else talking in a video. But shout out to the mods, very cool people. But all I was hearing was the Donhang team going crazy. I'm just like sweating at this fun. I was like, I don't really care if I win or lose, but being last or just like being hilariously behind would kind of not look great, especially because I do YouTube content on the game. But I'm pretty confident in my team, for at least the most part, that I at least will do somewhat good. Hearing that, we got an E2 Silverwolf and an E2 Ron May and an E1 Donhang does got me a little worried, though. I pretty much just need really good RNG here. And some of the dice I brought were to either spawn more transaction domains. If you don't know, I was doing the transaction domain in hopes of being able to go in, get the Kuros that I needed, go forward, buy, next one, buy, next one, buy, and being able to buy them, even if you just glance at what they are and buy, is a lot quicker than having to load into the fight every single time, because those loading screens can rack up, right? Especially if you don't load in instantly. So most of my time spent is just in the shop. As you can see, I'm checking, I'm like, okay, boom, that one, in, out, I'm out instantly. Next one. I can't remember how lucky I got at the beginning Kuro-wise. I did good enough to where I was doing a decent amount of damage. As you can see, duplicate it, go in, pop, and pretty much just do that. Let's see, the Jinglu team was also cooking, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember what I heard at this point. They were going for the freeze strat, which, I mean, look at their team. Yeah. The solo sustained march, they're cooking. There was a guy in the other bracket. Oh my god. Cooked. Solo sustained march. It was like, I think, Ratio, Topaz, March. And I forgot who else. Maybe Sparkle. Forgot who it was. But they cooked. They got like a 12-minute clear, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, this is also difficulty 4, by the way. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video. But as you can see, I'm going crazy just buying as much stuff as I can. I probably should have bought the Apple, because you get a cheat code, and cheat codes are going to be pretty strong at this point, just because I can cheat into the one where I get 150 points every time I enter a transaction domain just for that, which would double because I now have the Kuro that doubles how much cosmic fragments I get, but I no longer get blessings, so that's an issue. So I'm already at the first boss because my domains do not take that long. So go ahead and pop Ruin May skill there. Or sorry, not skill, technique. And I'm into the first fight. Right? At this point, I'm pretty confident because thankfully, to the people casting, they're like, wow, he's already at the first boss. So I'm like, okay, I have to be like a stage or two ahead of everybody else. Which, to be fair, they're going through, you know, doing mini games. You know, they're buying their own stuff. They're doing fights. They're doing, you know, whatever it may be is slowing them down. Especially the occurrences. We have to wait for the wheel to randomly spin. Kind of annoying. Bottom left is fighting a... I forgot what the event was called. But pretty much there's like a monster icon on it. It's pretty much always just a boss fight. So they're doing that. I know top left is jumping around a lot. I can't remember exactly what Pursuit does on the top right, but they're going pretty crazy. Luckily, I clear mine pretty fast. I forgot which one I decided to get. I think it was that one, which was unfortunately pretty useless because I can't get blessings anymore. So, you know, misplay. But I'll be honest with you, I misplayed a lot. I was kind of just like worried about falling behind, especially with how crazy the competition was. To be fair, I think it was fair putting me with these guys because, you know, I'm a light. I would say I'm maybe a light to medium spender. So if they put me with people who don't spend, that'd be kind of rough, right? Especially because I have a lot of signature light cones. I have characters with dupes in them. If they let me have Acheron, by the way, which would be crazy because, you know, it's no secret that I do YouTube, and if they look at my profile on Discord, it says YouTube channel. So no way in hell anyone was going to let me use Acheron because I had an E2. I'm sure a lot of other people had E2 Acheron as well, I mean, we higher. But knowing someone has an E2 of a character that's a very strong DPS, like if I knew someone had a Donhang at E1 or E2, no way in hell I would have let that slide. I'd rather have Sparkle. Also, I ran past because I totally forgot you had to trigger that one too. But do that. More Cosmic Fragments. Big W, right? Overall, we're doing pretty good up until, I think, right here, right? So, I go ahead and fight this boss. And unfortunately for me, it doesn't have an imaginary weakness. And it's an elite. So, now we're having an issue. Actually, is it also a beacon one? Because I'm pretty sure beacons have higher stats. Let me double check. Yeah, elite enhanced. So, don't know. When they're enhanced, obviously they have better stats. This guy not being weak to imaginary. I wouldn't say it cost me wrong because I don't think I was going to win regardless, even with the fact that the two people ahead of me have a 1 minute and 30-second penalty for having E2. This guy took me so absurdly long. Like, actually way too long. It was crazy. I'm going to skip ahead. But, so this guy's doing a minigame, this guy's fighting, right? I am at the, like, third plane, right? Still fighting this guy. Still fighting this guy. Still fighting this guy. Boom. I finally get out, and I'm only... I'm sorry, I was on the second one. I'm going to the third one now. Actually took so insanely long. Like, an absurd amount of time that they're already at the boss. I believe... Is Exen at the boss too? I can't remember. I know I was in last because I think they were in last, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, they're at the boss. Okay, so they're at the boss. JV is about to get to the boss. I'm behind, right? So I think I get a cheat code here, but at this point, it's just like not looking too great. I'm fighting the two people with E2s, Jingli with DPS Silverwolf, E1 Ruin May, and then the E1 Donhang, E2 Ruin May. I'm like, okay, well, this is not looking too great for me. And they absolutely, let's see how fast they shred. Like, oh my gosh, Donhang does so much damage. Like, oh my gosh, the HP bar just disappears, man. Oh my lord. Yeah, I'm not even at the boss yet. So it's just like big sad, big sad. But finally, I get to Yanqing, and unfortunately, my RNG for blessings wasn't too kind to me. And Yanqing kind of goes a little crazy here. At this point, I've kind of just accepted that it looks like I'm not going to be able to win because Donhang guy going a little too crazy. If I'm not mistaken, they jump super far ahead and just gun for the boss at this point. And, you know, I think someone disconnected because their phone was overheating or something. I didn't exactly catch the reasoning, but I know they were on mobile and they're having tech issues. But yeah, they're already on the final boss, and I'm still on Yanqing. Actually, so tragic. To be fair, Yanqing isn't anything too crazy, but the fact that I couldn't break him was a bit of a rough thing to happen for me. But overall, I definitely could have played it a bit better. Definitely could have experimented with a bit more teams here. But, I'm happy with how I did. Yanqing eventually goes down. I think he rips through a bunch of my team at the end here. Which, by the way, this Don Hang, oh my lord, that's the poor boss is just getting absolutely shredded. They're also on the boss too, so I'm like, okay, at this point, the jumping in the head strat, undefeated. If you get lucky and you get the buffs you need to actually survive and kill the enemies, jumping ahead is just always the play. I think I definitely could have won if I got a bit luckier and I didn't fight that enhanced elite, because I'd probably be around the same point as them. I don't think I'd be doing nearly as much damage because, like I said, E1 Ruan Mei, E2 Ruan Mei, and then the whole rest of their team is just, not DPSs on the ice side, but they have two DPSs that, my E0 Ruan Mei can't quite compete with an E1, E2, and their teams are definitely more offensive than mine, especially with Don Hang. But yeah, the Don Hang guy clears it before I even get done with Yanqing, which is unfortunate because even though I lose a good amount of my team, right? Every time I spend fragments, I end up getting more power. So losing characters wasn't too much of an issue to me. By this point, I've already lost, right? I think it's like a minute or so, and I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to attempt to clear the last stage. So it is what it is. I ended up losing, but tons of fun, right? I got to use a team I don't really use too often. Unfortunately, the teams that, I have E1s in, I have more invested. Unfortunately, they got banned, but, what can you do, right? But other than that, no, they did. It was super fun. Shout out to everyone who played. I think they have the other fights on one of their YouTube channels. I'll link it in the description if you want to watch the rest of the fights, and then if you want to watch this with their commentary. But super fun. The Don Hang, JV's Don Hang, just absolutely shredded everything. There's not much I could really do about that. But like I said, super fun. Shout out to everybody in it. If you want to participate in events like this in the future, I think they're doing another tournament. Not soon, but they're going to do one in the future. I think they might do a whale one where you can bring like E6s. So if you're a whale and want to participate, go ahead and try that out. They're probably going to do another like dolphin low spender one where it's E2 and lower again. This one was a lot of fun, like I said. But other than that, that'd be it for the video. Let me know what you thought of it. Do you think I absolutely fumbled? I should have done something else? Like I said, I'm not the best player on the planet. Who do you think had the coolest run? Do you like, the other players' runs? What do you think of the Don Hang going absolutely crazy? Let me know in the comments. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.